Welcome to the Conscious Kink Podcast with Miss LX. Let's jump into today's episode.
Nth time. All right, we've got episode 2 of our group coaching session here in, April, end of April. And looking forward to talking with our peeps tonight. Tonight, we've got 6 people who made requests for some time tonight. I commit to 4. If you all are just really, really efficient, we might go through 6 tonight. But on our list tonight, we've got Queen Maeve or Rachel. We've got Priscilla. We've got Little Lemon, Mommy Cass, Cricket, and Connor. So without further ado, because that was a clusterfuck of audio bullshit, group coaching chat, they can go in either one. It's up to you. Do you want to do live chat? Or you want to do group coaching? Let's everyone figure our shit out. Everyone go to group coaching. Keep it streamlined. We'll just keep it streamlined. Okay. As long as everyone knows where to go, go there. Okay. Okay. So yes, everyone go over to group coaching if you were confused about where to go. I think I misspoke and said live chat when we were doing all of our tests, but yes, we like to keep it nice and private in group coaching. So, all right. First things first, who is up? Queen Maeve, aka Rachel. All right, Rachel. I've got you on the radar first. So what's going on, girl? What do we got to talk about tonight?
Well, lately when I've been doing scenes with Shred, he basically will have like a trauma response. Sometimes I'll plan a scene out and then in the middle of it, he'll have an unexpected reaction.
Okay.
And then it would throw the scene off. And that kind of affects my confidence because then I'm like, oh crap. And you don't want to do that. You want to just keep your flow and keep going. So I'm kind of trying to figure out how do I address it.
Well, I think you're already kind of selling yourself short here because you're going, that's bad. I shouldn't have to stop a scene and readjust. I should just stay in that flow. Maybe that's ideal, but again, our ideal and what's possible are sometimes a little different. So my first question for you, because we don't want this to affect your confidence, absolutely not. So my first question for you then would be, when he has this unexpected reaction, this trauma response come up, what happens? What does he do? How does he respond? What's the nature of this interruption?
So like, I think the easiest way to explain it would be to give you an example.
Yeah, sure.
We did a scene, maybe it was like a month ago, probably, right?
Yeah, something like that.
It was about a month ago. It wasn't too long, but
hey Shred, glad you're here.
Can you say hey? Where he basically I dressed up like this little babysitter type chick. It was super cute, loving it. It was great. And I was basically like in charge of him in a sense, and like because he has this fetish of this idea of being taken advantage of. And he kind of took it a little bit too far where the role play started to get more intense and it was going in the direction of like he wanted to talk a whole lot. And I wasn't really wanting to talk. I just wanted it to be, you're going to do what I tell you because I'm in charge,
Mm-hmm.
So that's the direction it went in. And it threw off my groove. I don't really know how else to describe it other than that. It was not what I wanted it to be. And it was still good. And then for him, it was like his facial expression was more like he was remembering something. And then his eyes, I can always tell because he has really bad anxiety.
Okay.
His eyes become like pinpricks almost. I don't know how else to explain it. Like I can just tell when he's feeling really, really nervous.
Okay. And do you agree with that assessment that you got triggered in that role play scene and became really, really anxious and in your head?
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I guess it just spaced out and like time skipped a little bit. It's weird.
Okay, so you full on disassociated.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Okay.
and it scares me
Okay.
because I don't know what to do.
That's okay. That's okay. So you were going through this role play of a babysitter, and you said his fetish is what? How did you describe
Like
it?
being being taken advantage of, like having somebody who is in charge to kind of like make you like to have their way with you or whatever. Like he likes
So
authority figure
CNC.
basically. Say it again, I'm sorry.
So he's looking for a CNC role play, consensual non-consent.
Basically.
No,
But not really. Go ahead, you talk. Go
oh
ahead.
no, never mind.
No, you talk. Say what you're gonna say.
Oh no, I forgot. Keep going.
No, you didn't. You just don't want to say it. So, I mean, do you feel like it's non-consensual?
I mean, it's consensual. I mean, it's like, role play scene or whatever.
Yeah, but she's talking about like the scene itself. Is it CNC?
I guess in a sense, maybe, yeah.
Okay, how so?
How
come?
I don't know. Kind of, no control over what's happening.
No control. See, and that's what he's told me he likes about the scenes that we've been doing is that he feels a release because he's not in control, but he can like stop it at any time.
Okay. Here's the thing. Not being in control and subjecting and re-traumatizing yourself to a non-consensual mindset are two completely different things.
Okay.
So when you say that you get a rush, you get submissive arousal or pleasure or release by not being in control, that's really a general submissive experience. It's really a general motivation for submission is I want to get out of my head. I don't want to make any decisions. I don't want to have any real say here. I just want my dominant to take over so that I can completely rest.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what sounds good to you. That's what you're seeking from the submissive experience?
Yes.
Okay. But you're going about it trying to do more of an intense CNC type style role play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to. I guess it's just how it ends up. I don't know.
Okay. And this is a really personal question. You don't have to respond to this or answer this at all if you don't feel comfortable, but
Oh, it's fine. Like, I'm over it now. It's just like, I guess it affects me subconsciously or something.
well, yeah, I mean, trauma is stored in the subconscious. So, unfortunately, what it sounds like is happening, my friend, is you are relating not being in control to those traumatic experiences.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to, but I guess I do that.
And so if we can just detach those, because it's like you're linking them together by trying to detach them in play. And I think that's where it's getting confusing for the both of you. And so, and especially you, like that's a lot of pressure and confusion.
It is. And he says to me all the time, he's just like, yeah, are you ever tired being the dom? And I'm like, no, I love being the dom. It's great. But then it's like, it's a little intimidating because I, like you said, I don't want to re-traumatize. That's the last thing I want to do.
Right.
Because that's where a lot of his unhealthy coping mechanisms and whatnot. I mean, like he's in therapy, I'm in therapy. That's the type of stuff that he's been working on. So, but it just comes up naturally, like he said, it just happens.
Well,
yeah, if anything, we should stop doing like role play stuff and just do like, just natural, whatever.
You say you just want me to smack your butt.
And that's okay too. Like, here's the thing. I think if you take the non-consensual element out of the play, because that's why it's called consensual non-consent, is everything that we do in BDSM is consensual. It should be consensual. But when we approach this scene, we're consenting to, in this scene, have no consent. And if you have been traumatized in that same way, especially as a child, your subconscious is going to show up rearing its ugly head because all you're doing is going back to that place of childhood trauma, and your subconscious is trying to protect you. So the good news is you can still experience subspace and that mental and emotional release that you're looking for, where you can get out of your head and into your body. But you guys have to stop with the ravishment, with the CNC. And I use ravishment loosely here, but basically the being taken advantage of, being, no, I don't want you to, and it happens anyway. Any sort of that element needs to be completely removed from your play.
Mhm.
And so, and before I jump to my next part of it, have you all done the BDSM test or any sort of submissive training guide that I have on Patreon? Are you aware of desires and kinks and limits?
Yes, I did your absolutely wonderful worksheet. That was so helpful
Okay,
because
awesome.
I had no idea what I was doing.
Okay, good.
It helped a lot. Yeah. So we were able to identify a lot of those triggers.
Okay, fantastic. So what were some of, and you can answer this, or if you feel comfortable, you can answer too, what were some of top results that came up in terms of things that are really arousing or give a lot of submissive excitement, things like that?
He really likes impact play a lot.
Okay.
Like he's very into impact play. He loves being spanked. He loves the flogger. So I mean, honestly, that's the main part of it, is the actual play itself. Like we did a scene the other day where I had him restrained above his head. And you stop me if I'm getting too graphic, okay?
It's fine.
And he likes bondage and stuff like that, and it's because of the release. He
Mhm.
enjoys being restrained. He enjoys it because, and he says it's because he knows that I love him and that I'm doing it because I love him. And I tell him that I tie him up because I just love him so much. I just want to smack him, basically.
Okay. All right. So lots of masochistic desires here. So
yes.
And that's a release for you, is the bondage and the impact play.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Did I miss anything?
That's about it.
So so we love bondage, we love impact play, and those are really big. Those make you feel like you are not in control anymore.
Pretty much.
Okay. Okay. Can you reach subspace where you kind of feel like tingly or floating, or you lose track of time completely?
I mean, yeah. I don't know, without sounding weird, like whenever she smacks me or whatever, it's like, she's on the other end, she's the one doing it to me or whatever. I've gotten better about using like slow words or whatever. And yeah, so it's I mean, it's not like just total masochism. Like in between, she kisses me from behind and all that other stuff. So I don't know.
Right. No, I understand that. I'm just talking about the feeling that it gives you. Do you feel
it's
like
a good feeling. It's like a tingle feeling or whatever.
Okay.
I mean,
So
it makes me feel good.
okay, so you would say that you reach subspace whenever she ties you up or there's impact play involved.
Yes.
Okay. So where did the role plays around being taken advantage of enter the mix?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's just stuff that he's always talked about. We sat down because I know one of the things that you talk about, and a lot of other stuff that I've read talked about, is you sit down and you talk about it together a lot. Stuff that you're interested in, and I've been like, what are some different role plays that you think are sexy? And some of those were some of the ones that he pointed out. Like we can do other role play, like if I'm a nurse or whatever and he's a patient. That's one that I'm planning that I want to do eventually.
Okay. Okay.
Just stuff like that. Like he's into dressing up, and for me, I love to dress up.
Okay.
So it was just one of those things that it kind of like naturally happened. Like he literally gave me a list, and I was like, okay, these are things that I can work with.
Okay. All right. So
yeah.
Okay, and that makes a lot of sense. So I'm gonna tell you this, dom to dom.
Yes.
You are allowed to and should tell your submissive no on desires that are bad for them.
I love that. I will do that.
Okay. And him being aroused by this role play of, quote, being taken advantage of and not actually having consent and kind of acting like he's being violated, that so closely mirrors his old trauma that it triggers him. No, that's unwise. That's not sane. And you should not be allowing him to suggest that scene going forward.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Justin. Love you.
Oh no, it's fine. I mean, it was kind of weird whenever I heard it said out loud.
And there's no shame about it. There's no shame about it. But if that, see, we gravitate toward what is familiar. And unfortunately, if we've been victimized and traumatized, we can gravitate toward things like that, or our subconscious can. And that's what it sounds like happened here. And so it's your job, Rachel, Queen Rachel, to have the wisdom and be panned out enough to go, look, everything I take my submissive through must be safe, must be sane, must be consensual. The problem is submissives can consent to things they should not consent to. So that's why it's
so much sense.
Our job. That's why it's our job as the dominant to make sure there's safety and sanity in the consensual request.
It's like the second step, isn't it?
What's the second step?
What is?
Like the trust, safety, intimacy.
Yes, the safety, trust, vulnerability, and intimacy. Yes. And so if your submissive brings a list of things that they enjoy to you, that's a list for you to consider and go, oh, interesting. Good to know. You don't have to do a damn fucking thing with that list if you don't want to.
Hell yeah.
That is just data for you as the dominant to use or not at the time you see fit. It is not, it's not a request list that you have to abide by. That's topping from the bottom. He does not get to make that call. Sorry.
That word a lot lately. He's noticed it himself, Miss Elle, because he's been studying and watching your videos, and he's like, "Am I topping from the bottom?" I'm like, I don't know. We have group coaching coming up. We'll talk about it. That is though, for real. Absolutely, yes. And it's my job to make sure that whatever we're doing is safe and like Elle said, safe and sane.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. What were this? You said safe, sane, and one more thing.
Consensual. And that's something that you'll find in a lot of BDSM rhetoric. It's called SSC, safe, sane, consensual. There are multiple acronyms for this kind of philosophy that we're kind of talking about here. Another one commonly used is RAC, risk aware consensual kink. But basically all of these acronyms are the standard for play in BDSM, that we want everything to be fully consensual, fully safe, and done in a sane and stable frame of mind. So this is something that you as the dominant need to have wisdom about and need to know your submissive. And if your submissive has past trauma about sexual violation, then the last thing that I'm going to do to a submissive who is still processing trauma is take them through a scene that would even mimic that in any way, shape, or form. So, so we want to stay away from that. But what you can do is, I think it might be really healing. And I have, I believe, 1 or 2 worksheets on Patreon about different types of spanking, different types of impact play. And if you guys have not gone through that, I would recommend that you do so. But one thing that might be really, well, first of all, what kind of submissive do you identify as?
Just overall submissive. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Okay. No, that's okay. That's okay. So if you're still kind of trying to figure out what really draws you to submission and what kind of experience you're looking for as a submissive, then that's totally fine. And I think it gives you a lot of room to experiment in your dominant energy. And so maybe on one day you're noticing that it's just he's feeling really defeated and he's feeling really discouraged, and you could tell he's just kind of like the shell of his normal self and just really empty and low. Then maybe on that day you build a scene for him around bondage and impact play, but in a very nurturing way, in a way that will just drop him to his knees, because your care and your nurturing for him is so overwhelming and it's so protective, and he feels so small beneath you because you see into him and you see that he's exhausted and that he's empty, and that you're going to continue that process and break him down fully so that he can release, and maybe lead him through a cathartic spanking scene where your tone is very controlled and soft. Your energy is very controlled and soft and nurturing. And you invite him onto your lap and you start out a spanking scene, lead him through a spanking scene where it's okay, let it out. You can cry, you can yell, you can scream, let it out. I'm here. Everything's okay. Everything's safe. And he finds release under you in that way.
I love that. That sounds so amazing. Like while you were talking, I was thinking, I watched your soft dom video, and that's kind of like the direction that I'm leaning in. And he tends to like that a lot too. When I'm more sweet.
Yeah, that's what I was picking up from him tonight. That's why I went this direction, is I can hear from you this softness in you. And this almost it's a boyish sweetness.
Did my tummy settle?
Oh, that was really cute.
That's our little tiny little girl. You want to come say hi really quick? Is that okay, Miss Elle?
That's fine.
Can you say hi?
Hi.
Oh, is that Ruby?
That's our precious Ruby. That's my little Twinkie.
Oh, hi, the precious Twinkie.
You say hi. All right, go eat your dinner, baby girl.
Okay, cutest little voice ever. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. She's precious. I love her.
So
that's
cute.
my little dom in training.
I love that. I love that. So so that's what I was picking up on, that has this softness to him, and this part of him that feels really deeply seen and cared for when you're nurturing to him.
Yes, absolutely. Like, I think I did one scene the other day where I was like tickling him and just petting him. His favorite thing is whenever I whisper to him, or if I like just caress him, and he still likes the impact play and everything, but it's like in a really loving context, if that makes sense.
Well, even with that, I mean, you can still, let's say you have him bound on a bed and he's laying on his stomach, all sprawled out, and you climb on top of him and maybe just run your nails down his back or across his neck and whisper in his ear, lean into his ear, and get in that energy, get in that space of, you want this, don't you? I know this is what you need today, so I'm going to be so good to you, kind of thing, and rev it up in that space without it being like, get over there and sit the fuck down, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. Like, it's called seduction. Yeah. And
gotcha.
There are times where you as the dom might just be feeling that. Let's say you're PMSing and your fuse is short and you've had a shitty day and you just want to beat an ass.
Yep.
Sounds familiar.
That's like every day almost.
That's like every day. Then there you go. That's a release for you as the dominant. But if you're trying to plan a release for him, then I would tailor it based off of the energy that you're picking up from him and his needs on that day.
Gotcha.
You know? And I don't think you have to take on this role to do it.
No. It's natural. That's kind of what drew me to him, because we've known each other since we were 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've been together for how many years?
Since 2008, however many.
Yeah, since 2008.
Wow.
So,
Congratulations, you two. So lots of history.
thank you. Yes, and we basically just like grew up together, but I don't know, and I guess for me, like, and he never really knew I would be into BDSM or anything, and I was sitting over here just like, I'm all about that stuff. Let's do it. And he had no idea. So
Wonderful.
it's been the best thing ever, finding this community and having other people to talk to.
Oh, good.
About it. Great.
Good. I'm so glad. So, quick takeaway. I would say that if you love dressing up and you guys love those role plays, keep doing it. But Queen, it is your responsibility as the dominant to make sure everything he consents to is both safe and sane. And right now, it doesn't sound like it's very sane or productive or helpful for him or for you or for both of you to lead him through any type of scene that would flirt with consensual non-consent. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole right now.
Definitely. I'm going to put that on like a poster and stick it somewhere I can see it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
So
just to remember.
Good. So did that help you? Do you feel like I spoke to the issue that you guys have been experiencing and maybe give you guys a strategy to get you out of that going forward?
Oh, absolutely. That was so helpful. Thank you so much.
Good. Awesome. All right. Well, before I let you go, do you have anything else? Any other questions, comments, criticisms for me before I move on to our next person?
Just like I said, super thank you for everything, and you helped me see some things that we weren't seeing, and that was extremely helpful.
Good.
And that's it, I guess. We just love you. Thank you so much.
Well, I love you guys too. Thank you so much for being so vulnerable and open and trusting me tonight. This is big, deep, heavy information, and I feel so honored that you trust me and everyone here. So thank you. Everyone, give our peeps a round of applause as they get settled back in. Good job, everyone. Thank you for sharing. I know. Beautiful. All right, Queen Maeve, if you would mind, go ahead and mute that mic again whenever you can. There we go. Yeah, that was wonderful. Did anyone else get anything out of that? You all are so quiet. You do realize that it's not going to interrupt me or whoever we're talking to by typing in the chat. If you were to unmute your mics and all talk at the same time, then we have an issue. But this right here, you're welcome. You're just laying down listening. Brave human, proud of you for being open. Can I just say, I love that we have so many great men here that are so open and so emotionally intelligent and vulnerable, and it's beautiful. I love it. And loving the knowledge, wonderful. Right? We have such great guys on here. We really do. All right. Next up, we've got the lovely and gracious Priskily. I hope I'm saying that right. I guess I'll find out here in a moment. Good evening, my dear.
Hello.
Hi. Am I saying your name right?
Yes, you are, Priskily.
Priskily. All right. Wonderful. Well, what can I help you with this evening?
Well, first I want to say that also my submissive is here. He's on Sen Cordis.
Oh,
and
nice.
he can also talk if you want to talk to him as well.
Awesome. Well, hello, Sen Cordis. I'm glad that you both are here tonight.
Catch the rest of this conversation in the next episode.